This is the San Joaquin Valley in California. Farmers here have pumped water out of the ground to irrigate crops for generations. But groundwater has been severely overpumped, and water levels are dropping. In 2014, California passed the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, SGMA. The law created GSAs, Groundwater Sustainability Agencies. GSAs are responsible for bringing groundwater in their areas back to sustainable levels, meaning more water isn't pumped out than goes back in. But now, groundwater access depends on where you farm and what GSA your land is part of. Take Madera County, for example. This is the western part of the county, which sits on the valley floor, where crops like almonds, pistachios, and oranges are grown. This land is part of Madera Irrigation District GSA. The irrigation district has been around for over 100 years. Farmers here pay to be part of the district, which has built canals to bring in river water. There are several other irrigation district GSAs in the county, but large parts of Madera County farmland are considered white areas, meaning they aren't covered by any formal water districts. Because of that, farmers in white areas don't typically get much, if any, surface water. They rely almost entirely on groundwater. Those white areas are governed by a separate GSA, which is run by the county. Madera County officials have set pumping restrictions for farmers in the white area GSA. Meanwhile, farmers in other GSAs run by irrigation districts don't have any groundwater pumping limits.
I am a member of what's called the white area. We are not part of the district, so the county has control over us. So what the county is doing is they're putting restrictions on the amount of water that I can use or people like me in the white area can use. This was supposed to be the year of planting our last block, which is a little over 20 acres. After spending a tremendous amount of money to prepare it for planting, I was told by the county of Madera that if I do plant it, then I will basically get zero allocation of water, and any water I use to irrigate will cost me $1,200 an acre foot. Well, they didn't tell me not to plant, but they gave me enough reason to decide not to plant. This block was planned years and years ago, and we were trying to finalize the ranch and get it complete, but this put a big stop to it. This is the Madera Irrigation District Canal, one of their canals. It goes underground and then starts back up a few ranches down. But here it goes along the whole southern part of my farm, and I've got maybe a quarter mile of land which we share, but I've got no access to it. They won't let me use the water that comes out of this canal. They do not have, Madera Irrigation District or any of the other water districts in Madera County, a restriction on how much water they can pump. It's only people who are out of the district that have restrictions. It's a terrible disadvantage. I mean, it's really absolutely immoral to have half the farmers under certain conditions, the other farmers are not. And what it does, basically, it pits farmer against farmer.
I do hear people talk about the haves and the have-nots. I don't think that is useful framing, because I think the San Joaquin Valley is full of critically overdrafted subbasins. Everybody is a version of a have-not. There's just people with a little bit more and a little bit less. What growers did was land became available. And if it was, land that they wanted, they purchased it without regard for whether it's in district or not in district. And so that's kind of what they're realizing now, is that there probably is a distinction there in terms of the ability to bring in extra water supply over and above groundwater. What SGMA requires is looking at a water balance over time. And if you look at water balances by GSAs, what you see is that the wide area or the county GSA has a greater deficit. So we are forced to have difficult discussions about allocations first. That doesn't mean that we are the only district or agency with a deficit, though. It just means that we are kind of first in this process of addressing scarcity.
Some people decided that they were going to sign up as a water district and take a contract. Other people, either these people, if they're gone now, their predecessors or their ancestors decided, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to pay the taxes. We don't bring in service. We're just going to pump them underground. That's the classic wide area, is somebody that has come in late to the party and planted wall-to-wall crops and is seeking a water supply to sustain that. So the people that actually signed up and are in a water district have access to surface water that the other folks don't. You let the farmers use their own ingenuity and their own market forces to solve this. Is there a way to do it? Probably there is. Is it fair? Well, fairness a lot of times is in the eye of the beholder. I don't think it's unfair, immoral, or fattening or anything else. Okay, it's the way it is, and those are the rules.